Hello, hello, hello. Hello to you and to my other viewer. I'm Jerry W. Shields, coming from, well, actually where I am coming from. Let's see here. Coming to you alive from this rather expensive looking apartment. I should probably ask who owns this. But anyway, here I am. Hi. Being awkward and rather nervous in public instead of just being awkward and nervous on a video and trying to edit all of the worst bits and then uploading it for your viewing pleasure. So, what has happened here today? Well, um, the long and short of it is I was doing some recording and I noticed that there was this rather nifty start streaming button right next to the start recording button. And being curious, decided to, oh, what the hell? You only live once anyway. You're already making a bit of an ass of yourself online. Might as well do it with your model live, just for everyone to enjoy. So I clicked it, and then I realized that there is an awful lot of things involved with streaming that aren't really an issue when you are recording. And here I am. So it seems like I haven't dropped any frames. The little dials that tell me that the audio is good is telling me that it is good, so let's give it a go. Hi, hi. Hello to you and to my other viewer. So, what are we supposed to do? Well, I suppose that I could have been spending my Sunday afternoon just sitting about, doom scrolling, and, trying to write things for my blog and do all of those other things that are supposed to be done for the Land of Gorge video. Goodness gracious, that one is a mess. It took a lot of production. I didn't think that there would be so much interesting stuff related to what was essentially a very short segment for SNL, but as it turns out, it was just fantastic to take a look at that and just to see the anger of all of the people who were writing SNL trying to write for felt, as they put it. Well, but instead of doing that, here I am for your viewing pleasure. Also, I realized at some point that, like many other people around me, I have an enormous library of Steam games, bought through sales, out of a rush of consumerism that I never actually gotten around to play, so how's about we take some of those as well? But for the moment, let's just see how this goes. It is testing the waters. 6 minutes in, nothing seems to have gone on fire. There has been very little dead air. The model is not upside down. The audio seems fine. The background isn't even on fire. So, with that in mind, I think that this is going to be very successful. Perhaps get a better microphone at that point. Every single video you've seen about me is recorded on that super cheap $25 microphone that Linus from Linus Tech Tips reviewed like 5 years ago. I got it as a present on a Christmas party and I was like, sure, what the hell, may as well use it. So, now that we are all settled here, what do we do? Let's do, let's see, PS2 emulation, probably. Oh, no, I have an idea. Why don't we do what I usually do instead of playing my Steam library? Let's see if this works. Just pull this up here, press this button and this button, and notice that everything is horrendously aligned. I have an excuse. Unprofessional streamer. I'm not doing this for a living. Let's see. This and this, and are you ready? You better. Oh, let's just click and boom, the Washington Post games. Nothing better than Team New York Times. Actually, this may be better because, well, not to put too fine a point into it, they actually let you do the crossword, whereas on the New York Times you actually have to pay for it. And, well, they're not getting any of my money. Their editorial content is fantastic, but, well, not that fantastic. I don't know, actually, I haven't read it in a while. Has the music gone? The music has indeed gone. Where is it? I don't know. But that is the thing that I'm not going to troubleshoot right now. It has just been, a week of trying to get this to work properly. Half of it not my fault. The ISP decided, oh, let's give him 5 megabit upload. So if you saw one of those test streams a couple of days ago that I had forgotten to delete, that were mostly just crappy music and dropped frames, awfully sorry about that one. Let's see here. Music, are you there? No, you're not. And wait a minute. If I go back here, the music should be back, but it isn't. Oh, no, wait, there we go. Well, this seems to be a very auspicious beginning. We have scuff and we have missing music from scenes. So, let's try this again. And it's gone. Well, no use crying over scuff. I'll just have to take this as we go. I could do the crossword. I don't want to do the crossword, mostly because last time I did it, it took me an hour, and, well, you and my other viewer may have the patience of a saint on videos, but I don't want to abuse that right now. So, how's about we do the mini crossword? Yeah, sure. Let's do that one. Go on. Oh, no, there it is. Ooh. That was a heart attack. Advertisements. I think you have enough of them. So, I won't tell them if you won't tell them. Alright. Let's play. Give a while for it to load. Planning for a bit. There we go. Pete and Frank, let's see what you came up with. Let's see. Wait. Error check mode is on. Well, it would be. Then how else would I know that I'm blown? Let's see. Doing it again. Continue. Max. Alright. No idea. Let's see. How he responds to I'm not. Or no? Okay. Oh, let's just do that for now. Any is approved, for example. Oh goodness. Let's see. Oof. No idea. What one only limit? Spanish for better. Spanish for better, Spanish for better. Come on. Come on, high school. Don't fail me right now. Yeah, I know. Nope. It was J. Mejor. There we go. Okay, so. What do I mean? Nothing. No helpful hints there. Like Kampa, Jambalaya, and Dairy Rice. Grain is long grain rice, but I have no idea on those. Imperturbable, impassive individual. Not me. Not me. Stoic. This single name are They got back to this. Oh, come on. Uh, okay, let's see. Something to take to the cleaners. Something to take to the cleaners. A suit? Yeah, it is a suit. Later to bitten or removed. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Can we fix something else? That's not value. Well, I wish it was. So note, for example. Hmm. How long have I been? 2 minutes. This has been the longest 2 minutes of my life. Goodness. Okay, let's see. Hmm. Where is Ivan? Hmm. Goodness. Don't know. What's a bird? Par example. Idea. Let's see. Laden to bitten or remove. Ah, no. It looks French, so it's not a U. See? Nope. Yeah. Let's see. To bitten or remove. No, art so. That's cool. Yeah. No. Laden to bitten. Once. Yeah, once bitten. Once bitten, twice shy. And then this is going to be Cajun. And then this is going to be uh, irate. Of course. Nope. Uh, I work with computers for a living. You can't expect me to know the keyboard layout. There you go. That's our main theme. Got no help here. No idea what either of these are. Maximum or minimum? Fin? No, it's not. Uh, huh. Max of main. Nope. Kidding, those are lakes. But, oh! Of course, it's Lake Erie and Lake Superior. They're Canadian. Well, no, they're partially Canadian, I guess. Okay, so. Oh, that one was fun. At least I found it enjoyable. I think you would find it more enjoyable if you could actually get the music. I have no idea why it isn't working. Let's see. File, web options. Pause, play. I can see it on OBS, it's right there, but no idea why it isn't working. The audio mixer is betraying me on that one. Let's see. Test audio, game capture. Oh, game capture, yes. We're going to get one of those. We're going to get to that one in a bit. Let's see. Uh, media source are existing. Is that better? No, it isn't. I can see it here. It's supposed to have music, but it doesn't. Nor do I hear it on the monitors. Oh, that's a shame. Okay. Uh, mm, you only had that much preparation. That one. Audio. Advanced audio properties. It's not even showing up as it's not even showing up as a source, which is the most annoying bit of it. Let's see. Uh, No, not that one. And then let's try and add it from the start. Well, the part is that before streaming, it actually did function properly. Start by when source becomes active. Close file when inactive. It isn't closed when it was inactive, but it shouldn't be inactive. We are playing with it now. Seems it only functions on the starting soon screen, which you can see why that won't be very useful, can't you? Okay. Oh. How about if we try that? And then this. There we go. There we fucking go. Now you have music. Hopefully it's not deafening. Let me just adjust it here. A little bit too much. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Yep, it's right there in the background. Fantastic news. Alright. Go back on this one. WaPo Games. Nope. Right, no. On the record. Now, on the record, I think is the one that has the recent news items on it. So, if ever goes right, we should be able to talk a little bit about current affairs. Hopefully not too political ones, because generally, fuck that. Play today's. Which entertainer and star of the Smashing Machine about an MMA fighter is Benny Safdie talking about? The power of allowing an audience to take somebody that's maybe one of the most recognizable people on the planet to change their face in a way that is so nuanced and yet they still come through. MMA fighter. Guys, if this was proper wrestling, maybe. But this one, I don't know. Let's make it multiple choice. Keeping the multiple choice will forfeit your shot at a perfect score. I forfeited that while not watching a single match of MMA. So let's just multiple choice it. See, Dwayne Johnson was on the news recently because apparently people were slightly worried about his weight loss. Never mind the fact that the man has looked like a brick wall for decades now, and presumably he wants to live quite a lot longer, certainly a lot longer than life just hitting the gym all of its time would provide. John Cena actually had his last match. I want to say last week, probably last week, but I don't know. That's wrestling. That's WWE or however many brands they have these days. This whole thing is owned by TKO Enterprises anyway, so that's probably going to be Conor, won't it? No. Well, the new College of Florida announced it was commissioning a statue of which person who died last month. The monument is to a figure that people don't agree upon. It can become a site for people with different identities to congregate for very different reasons. It can become a site of... It's going to be Charlie Kirk, isn't it? Yeah, that's going to be... It's going to be Chuck. Let's see. Yep. Yeah. Can't avoid that one. Let's just get this over with. The post studied users of which social media app to see how its hyper-personalized content draws people in. Lately I found myself scrolling past more and more videos. It's like I'm stuck in the rut with the algorithm. It keeps showing me the same kinds of things, but the addiction is making me crave more and more. Well, I was going to say YouTube until they said addiction. uh, if you somehow found me through the YouTube algorithm, I mean, apart from hitting subscribe and see if I do this thing again, there's no guarantee that I will, but that is a miracle if you actually manage to do that, because most of it is either videos that you've watched, or it wants to make a playlist based on anything that you saw that had a tiny little bit of music on it. Best way to give money to EMI, I guess. And well, occasionally they do manage to land a hit, and they have that video from 6 years ago that you remember that it was actually quite funny, and then they just disappeared because you didn't put it on watch later, as I've never done. Never, never, ever, 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 ever. But if that is addiction, that is probably going to be TikTok. There it is. Which musician who died in July wrote this in his posthumous memoir? That's right, so that's a his. That narrows it down slightly. That's been knocking at my door for the last 6 years, louder and louder, and at some point, I'm gonna have to let him in. No. It could be Dylan. Knock, knocking on heaven's door. Has he died? I don't know. Let's see. Multiple choice. Never mind. Oh. Come on. It's so obvious once you have the multiple choice. That, I guess that's why they take 3 points from you. I'll say, there we go. I won't even pretend to do that accent of his. I have barely enough trouble having this accent, and that's the one I came home with. Forward FBI direct. Ugh. Fine. Alright, let's get this one over with. There. There has been rare bipartisan agreement over the push for Google to restore which channel to YouTube.tv. I hope blank. A great and very popular Hispanic network can get... Let's see if I can do it that way. I hope blank, a great and very popular Hispanic network, can get back into the very amazing Google/YouTube. It has been taken out of their package, which is very bad for Republicans in the upcoming midterms. Which channel? I think it's a Hispanic network. The obvious answer would be Univision, Telemundo, but Telemundo hasn't been removed, and they don't seem to be particularly controversial. Not that I'm particularly plugged to them. Let's just say Univision. Balls. Okay. The European Parliament voted to ban the use of meat-related terms on the marketing of what kind of food products? 1 or 2 words. Nobody accidentally buys tofu sausage because they think they're beef sausages. I beg to differ. For a bit there, they were really good at making the packages very similar. And to be fair, if my doctor told me tomorrow, no, you can't have meat anymore, I think that one would be a winner. So, okay. Rather than consumer protection, this is more of a gift to the meat industry. I get the sense that Chris doesn't dig on the beef. Maybe not a big fan of bacon. Let's see. Protection. The use of meat-related terms in marketing of white food products. I wonder which one would it be? What? Oh god. Okay. Food products. Plant-based. There we go. With most of my dignity completely intact. Which late artist paintings will be auctioned off to benefit American public television stations? Ooh, actually, speaking of Latin America and benefiting public television stations, that Tiny Desk concert that they did with 31 Minutos and the puppets and whatever, absolute peak, smashing great. When this thing becomes a bot, I'm going to put the link of it in the description so that you and my other viewer can see it. But that thing was absolutely fantastic. You may not understand the language, you probably won't understand the language, but they cover a wide variety of genres, at least one of which you would probably like. Let's see. Late artist dedicated his life to make art accessible to everyone through public television. I can't think of a more meaningful way to share his works of art than by supporting public television's mission to educate and inspire. After a snowstorm, a final group of trekkers was rescued from the Chinese sign of Witch Mountain. Oh, this one is contentious. Would you believe that I am not that well versed in geography? I know, it's weird. But let's see. Thankfully, some people ahead of us were breaking trail, leaving footprints we could follow. That made it a little easier. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for us to make it out on our own. Goodness. I'll take a hint. Let's take a hint. Buying a hint will forfeit your shot at the multiple choice. No. Never mind. Sorry. Understandable. Have a nice day. Let's see. Multiple choice. Yes. I forfeited that like 6 questions ago, bro. Don't worry about it. Now, every fiber of my body wants to say Everest. But it sounds like that would be the obvious question and the one that they would plant in there to make you think the answer. You know, it's the Conor McGregor thing. But then again, I don't know where K2 is. But I feel like if there was news about Everest, we would have heard it on even the smaller local TV stations, so there's nothing going for it. Let's hit K2. No. Okay. Fill in the blank. It's a popular risky wager that combines different bets into one with several decks that all need to hit. First of all, don't gamble. Correction. Don't gamble any money that you can't stand to lose. I hope that you hear that now, instead of when you're thinking, maybe I don't actually need the house. Okay. Let's see. Popular risky wager. Bettors lose billions of dollars a year. It's going to be scratchers. Stupid fucking addictive things. Oh, check? Nope. No. Goodness. Honestly, between scratchers and TikTok, you're better off with TikTok because at least TikTok gets you entertainment between bouts of massive fucking depression and realizing that you're wasting your life, and you don't waste nearly as much money. The ByteDance takes their cut without you spending a single penny. Right. 40 out of 60. Is that good? Well, let's see, 40 out of 60, 75%. That's a pass. I would take it. Let's see. Close that. And how's about we go back to the apartment? So I think this is going pretty well, isn't it? The mouth movements seem to be dying a little bit. Do I need to calibrate you again? Ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ah, ooh. That's the weird noise quota for the day. And it seems like I do not. Okay, so we'll look at a couple of things here. Because now that we have done that, and I have spared you from the horrors of having to watch me do an hour-long crossword for today, let's see if I can play something else. Just a couple of races, just something to get the mood going. I have a plan. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but we are going to give it a go. Okay, so if I push this button, it brings me to a folder that you are unable to see, or at least I hope you're unable to see. That's my social security number. Yes. That's my bank account. That's my password file. Holy Grail. Alpha's body. There we go. There we go. Okay. So, what I think we could do is... Oh. Wait. Okay, so that works, and I hit this. Are you going to work? Yes, yes it is. Wait, no. What's it doing? Note to self, make sure that all of this resizes immediately. You're going to see it in a little bit. Actually, there's no point in beating around the bush. Ladies and gentlemen, Gran Turismo 4. Now, give me a bit while I make sure that you can actually see Gran Turismo 4. In the meantime, you can enjoy this fabulous music that is absolutely not going to get me copyright claimed. Just move this here. And you should be fixed now. Yes, well, I've spent decades playing that thing, but please make no mistake. There is absolutely no guarantee that I am any good at any of this. As you can tell by the fact that I apparently deafened a shitload of you. Anyway, let's get past the intro. And maybe mute the music a little bit. There we go. In preparation for this, I have actually... See if it functions. Come on. Yep. I have created an entirely new file. Now, I was supposed to be playing this with my nifty little 8-bit DOE controller, but naturally, in preparation for all of this, it broke. Well, no, that's a misnomer. The first 15 minutes of it function magnificently, and then it disconnects, and, well, the less said about that, the better. But, let's say... What do we do? We get a license first? No. Getting the licenses should be its own stream, assuming I want to do this again. Probably will. I'm actually having a lot of fun. It's been 40 minutes, and apparently I have just dropped a little bit of frames, so... Let's see... Okay, beginner events. And wouldn't you know it, most of them have no license requirements. So how's about we do that before? Now, I'll say this. This is no ordinary Gran Turismo 4. This is a fantastic mod, which should have its information in here somewhere. Let's see. Fantastic mod called Gran Turismo 4 Spec 2. And what they did is correct just a giant amount of the inconsistencies and heresy and assorted other fuckery that this game had when it released like 20 years ago. Shout out to the team. Is it here? Let's see. Spec 2 settings. Nope. But since we're here, let's randomize price cars and tracks and highlight on cars. Yep, all of that. All of that. Fantastic. And you would usually start with 10,000 credits. I think they have been a little bit more generous, perhaps based on the assumption that anyone who plays this has already played it in the past. Let me just give me just a minute here. I just want to check that you're hitting what I'm hitting. Yep, you should be able to hear it. We can raise the volume a little bit. Yep, perfect. Yeah, yes, there we go. Okay. Yeah, they would usually give you just 10,000 credits, so what say you, just for the sake of accuracy, we just pretend that we're missing a couple tens of millions in there, and see if we can get anything for 10,000. Yes. Let's see. What? Don't tell me. Ah, boo! Boo! Everything is here. Why? They're even fucking with you. I mean, look at the percentage of this thing. 0%. I've done nothing to deserve all this. Is it like a new game plus? Can I reset it? What is going on? Let's see. The other options. General race. Controllers, Spectre settings. That's lame. Maybe I just do arcade mode instead, but until I fix that. Let's single race. 05 Nürburgring? No. Which track is just absolute pain that isn't the Nürburgring? Oh, actually. Fuji-san, yeah. Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's really, really bad. And let's... with Fuji... What do you think? Perhaps we do... Sure! It was a new track when... Actually, this is 2005 and the game came out in 05-06, so that is just a preview. So we may as well be comfortable with the new tarmac that they put on it. British Racing Green, traction control, let's just... Oh, let's use all tires. Sports soft, and let's disable the traction control. Did I mention that I'm playing with a controller? So, unlike with most other people that you're seeing playing games like this is just... This is going to be just a switch. That throttle is either going to be on or off. And let's do difficulty. Let's see if I can actually get within a shout out of winning for these people. Okay. Honestly, I think this may be my least favorite track in this game. Let's give it a go. Come on. Right, let's see the competition. Oh god. Yeah. For those of you who don't know anything about cars, that rough in there, number 3, that one is probably going to be the most difficult one to get past. I seem to have an advantage on power. Oh, we also have the Vanquish, which, if you remember from the menu, it's actually faster. That's why it's difficulty 2. Difficulty 0 is mid, difficulty 2 is if you want something more difficult. Difficulty 10 is if you just want to lose. But you would see just a line of race cars in all of this. Anyway, let's give it a go. See what happens. Ah, yes. The famous Gran Turismo sound of vacuum cleaners. Come on. Come on. Yep, let's give it, and I don't have traction control, even though this car actually came with it from the factory. Oh, oh. Bit of a crash there. Approaching the first corner, and brake, brake. Come on. And nope, no. Going a bit sideways. See, it's the rough, that little Porsche 911 looking thing. Back when Porsche didn't allow its license to be used by anyone that wasn't Electronic Arts. Rest in peace, Electronic Arts. Or should that be Rip Boso Electronic Arts? I'm not sure yet. The acquisition is good. It probably means that they are still not going to keep producing the crap that they have been producing for the last decade, but, well, we'll see. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Porsche is out back. TVR, very light, very fast, can't get past it. Oh, there we go, there we go. But it has a weight advantage, so... Yep. Oh, yeah, this one doesn't have the chicane, so... I think I can power through it on the big straight. But... Oh, ooh. Yeah. Come on. There we go, there we go. And this... I'm sure that they had the reasons to change the layout to this, but playing this game when it came out, I just preferred the 90s layout. It was just faster, and presumably that was the whole point. Okay, I'm in straight. Let me just stick to it. He's pulling away. He's pulling away. He's pulling away. Oh, God. Okay. Okay. There we go. Come on. No, the speedometer is in miles an hour. I will have to change that. I prefer kilometers. If nothing else, the numbers move much more frequently. Come on. Yeah, I just don't... It seems I just don't have the power. But this thing isn't anywhere near as lively as I thought it would be. Oh. What are you doing? There we go. Christ, I can hear him. If you're listening to this with headphones and it isn't destroyed by YouTube compression, you should have been able to hear that thing snarling in the back. Oh. Absolutely horrendous apex on this one. Let's try and make this one better. Nope. A poor gamer blames his controller, but Jesus Christ. Okay, back straight. And... Nope. Oh, sideways, and... Okay, that's fine. And out of the track, there we go. Let's brake here. Gonna go into the final corner. It looks as though it's over, but remember, that thing is much faster on the straightaways. And there we go. Okay, nothing to do but keep this thing planted all the way to the finish line. Right, there it is. Wait for it, and... Oh, 49 points. Now, for those of you who are not turbo autists about this game, there is a scale from 0 to 200. 1 to 200. So much for the autism, I guess. One is you are essentially OP. The reason that you're doing this race is just because you want to drive about. And then let me just. God, the audio is going to be more of a mess here than even on the pre-recorded ones, is it? Okay. Yeah. One is you're too OP, 200 is you're not gonna win unless you pull some really, really fast moves or you cheat, which is incredibly easy in this game. But we'll get to that. That was the 05 layout. To show you my preferred one, let me just do let's do just a period correct one for the 80s track. Comes from the 80s. World circuits. I see the problem. The menu music seems like it's too low. And then wait. Huh. It seems like you're not actually getting the desktop audio. Oh, there it is. Slow this a little bit here, and there we go. It should be in the background. There we go. Sorry about that. It's almost as if I have been doing this for just 50 minutes. 50 minutes? Actually, this may be a good way to just justify playing my games. 80s. There we go. Now, cars from the 80s. Gran Turismo 4 is a Japanese game, so of course it's stacked with the Japanese hydron from the best era of Japanese cars. But tell you what, instead of that, let's just yep, a Buick. Because why not? It looks just like the car that would take your grandma to church, except for a moment I think that was actually the fastest car GM ever made. Well, never. For a couple of years, then they realized they wanted to sell Corvettes. More's the loser to them. Blacker than the blackest black times infinity. Medium tire, so we get a little bit of slide. 2 laps is fine. Let's put it to 3, see if we can make it. Okay, no, so on 2, I was probably going to win. On 3, a little bit more difficult. Remember, 2 was 40 A-spec points out of a possible 200. I have no idea what this is going to be. Let's see the listing. Actually, not that bad. We have a couple of S2000s in there. But actually, I think the S2000s may be the more difficult ones to beat, because the Zero is a concept, the Integra is front-wheel drive. Also, they don't stick to the spirit of the 80s race, do they? Well, you can't win them all, so let's see what happens. See, very gentle. I have less grippy tires. Okay, nope, there we go. And yeah, okay. That was annoyingly easy. Well, no, we're about to hit the corners, and this thing is really, really heavy. There we go. Back in the first corner. And in here, you already, well, if you took a note of the track layout, you can see that this one is now much more of a fast left-hander here, taking you neatly into this with all the track marks of people going off. And as you approach the little hairpin, brake early, hit the apex. I like this one a lot more, so I've done an awful lot more laps in it over the years. And they use it, I think the 2005 track, they only use on the base game like 4 or 5 times. One of them for the endurance race, but still. On the 90s, you use that chicane, and this one you just go right past. Right past, and then you hit the brakes. It's a much more gentle entrance to the main straight, but you still have to hit the brakes a little bit there. And then you're just free to run the entire length. How are they doing back there? Well, they're not getting any closer. Wait, no, actually I think it's moving very, very slowly towards me. Yep, this thing has overdrive, and it's an ancient automatic, so okay, it's a line and oop. Okay, brake. Brake. Where are you? No. Hmm. Alas, it doesn't seem to. How was that other one at difficulty 2 and this one at difficulty 3? I guess the algorithm is not working tremendously well. Well, I say algorithm in this case, it just picks from a list. Though, once again, if you found me via an algorithm, hello, welcome. Please feel free to join my other 2 viewers over there. And, I don't know, maybe hit the subscribe button, see what happens. Down to second, doing the hairpin again. Just letting that fake turbocharged V6 take all of the time it needs to accelerate. They used this thing on the GMC Typhoon, which was just like this tiny SUV, and they put that on sale in the 90s. At the time, it just became, again, just the fastest car that was available in the world. Which, again, very embarrassing for GM because their Corvette was right there. Well, disappointing for them. And there we go. 65 points. But that didn't feel like 65. I wonder if it's just the weight. Well, there's one way to find out. I was going to go for about an hour. It is now 55 minutes according to this thing. So what say we do one for the road? And if we're going to do one for the road, why don't we just use the longest road available in this game? The Nürburgring. Prepare for me to go off the track a lot. A lot. Okay, let's see. Same car. Nope, that's... No. Some other time. Actually, we have the Pontiac Vibe here. Do we have the Toyota Matrix? Because that is the same car. No, there it is. There it is. What a difference some turn signal repeaters make. Anyway, let's see. Buick, black. Difficulty 3? Yeah, let's see if it was a fluke. Put sport soft tires. And let's see what happens. Okay. Again, all of them are down on power, and I'm guessing that they are betting on this thing being an absolute porker for it to make the advantage. But it didn't on Fuji, but Fuji is very flat and it had those sweeping corners. Let's see what we do here. Most scary one. Actually, all of them are. Most of them are four-wheel drive. You just have the 300 ZX, which is rear, and the Accord, which is front. I'm guessing the Accord is going to be the big loser on this one. Let's see what happens. 66 points. Okay. Don't read that much into it. Oh, just on the way to the supermarket. And then to church. Later, that's the GNX, so that's the most famous one. But later models, they just had like a normal Regal, which is just that body, and you can have it with stupid wire wheels and a padded roof, so it actually just looked like your grandma's car. Hell, you could give it to your grandma; she wouldn't know, unless your grandma was that little old lady from Pasadena, which I doubt she was. Okay, so already we are at a disadvantage. The rolling start means I can't just power through. 300 ZX in the front is. Oh, oh, wait. Come on. No, not getting through. It also doesn't help that this is way, way more narrow. And so just getting the opportunity, bit of a bump there. Come on. No. There we go. Okay, that's the 300 ZX dealt with. Now the Audi. So as I was saying, it's very narrow, and so you have very few opportunities to do just that. Oh, and catch a little bit of air. Nope, no air. Would be weird watching a tower block. Just catch air. Let's see. The A3 in front of us? Yeah. Here. Here. The AI on this thing is very, very dumb. They basically just stick to the route as much as possible. Double brakes. Oh, no. They just stick to the route as much as possible, and that works fine for most of the time. But then they just it just seems as boneheaded as they actually are the second that you actually have to dice with them or do some overtaking maneuvers. That Accord is actually pulling a stellar work. I think it's really. Whoa, no. Ah. See, what I told you. I think that was the Audi. Yeah. Ah. Back at the last. Let's give it a go. Have it. Yeah, I love the Audi. It's much more bumpy than Fuji and narrow, and there is grass everywhere, which means that you can lose traction like that. Mm-hmm. Come on. Break. See, they're both trying to follow the same line, and so they are just having a smooch for like 5 corners. Okay, there you go. Broke them up. I don't know who started it, but I'm going to finish it. There you go. Right. Down here. See how bumpy it is? There. The Audi, because it has four-wheel drive modeled into it, you just be able to cope with this and just find grip whenever. Also, it has traction control. Because if I recall correctly, the AI doesn't disable it for cars that aren't yours. Okay. Right. Nope. What are you doing? See, it wants to take the sign, and there. I thought I was going to go off again. That already has it for me, I swear to you. Or it would if I believed that the AI was capable of having it out for me. Right, now for the long uphill section. You would think that this is the fastest one, but it isn't, it's uphill. That Accord and the Golf are a little bit too far away. But I guess I can claw in here, see if the boost can take me all the way up. How far away are they? Should have a time marker around here somewhere. 4 seconds, full. 4 seconds and no idea to tell if we're gaining. They don't seem to be any closer. Yeah, I think the Accord is just the same thing as this. It's just insanely powerful, but it's front-wheel drive, so the computer just... He's taking the Golf! He overtook it. I thought it was going to be the loser. Okay, oh. Yeah, got to focus on the dice, and so Got into a little dice myself. Let's see. 4 seconds. So at least I'm not falling behind. Down to second here. On the way to the carousel. Can I actually go on the carousel on this car without traction control? I don't know. I don't think I've ever tried. Let's see. Yep. Oh. Went up a bit earlier, but all in all, pretty successful. Let's give it a go. Okay. Right. Going up. And... Oop. I shouldn't have braked. I should have just let off the gas and let it take care of it. But I am getting closer to that goal. Actually, I'm getting closer to them. 2.5 seconds. Okay. A bit on the carousel helped. Oh. Yeah, sorry about the noises. It's just... This thing is all over the place in here. The weight is making itself known, and it's just getting thrown around. I think this is the place where you see all of the Nürburgring videos. Yeah, you enter here, and then the photographer is to your left, and then you're here, and oof. Okay, so I think going forward, I have the main straight, and there, if nothing else, I should probably be able to take care of the Golf. Not sure about the Accord though. Right. Okay. Don't go up here. Oh. Nope. Okay. Brake. Going entirely too fast for this section. And there we go. Just brake a little bit here. Here. That's how that Accord wins. They keep underestimating it. Jesus Christ. Okay. Main straight. Let's see if I can get it. Is it pulling away? No, it isn't. Okay, the boost is helping me here. That and the automatic. 130. 35. 40. Tell you what, it is taking an awful lot to get to it. 146. Okay. See, this is what a difficulty 3 should feel like. That was, what, 12 miles of... Oh, no. That was 12 miles of just dicing it with other cars. So, yeah, I'm not sure what happened in Fuji there. Maybe it just counted on the weight. And we may be due for another lap, depending on how this goes, because that Accord is seriously quick. Let's see. Passaving corner. That was first corner. Should have mentioned it. There we go. Nope. Christ, it's just hanging in there. It's not letting go. Okay. I think, provided that I don't mess up, and that is a very fucking huge hit, I think that should make it. Let's see. Second behind. No air in there. This is the real fastest section of the track, even including the main straight, because you're going downhill. But if you don't tap the brakes around, let's see, here, you are just going to go off. I think I tapped them a little bit too much. I can see, yeah, it's back. Never went away, but also it's back. There we go. And now, where I went off last lap, we don't have any road Golfs or Audis in here, do we? No, we don't. Brake, 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 brake. Ugh. Goodness. Okay. I think this is also a place where you film cars going off in the Nürburgring. Right. 100 miles an hour. 110. I think we're going to be going downhill again soon enough. Oh. Tell you what, for all of the bumps, I expect that if you were to actually race a GNX around here, it would be very, very comfortable. Okay, the Accord is gone, so all I need to do is keep it on track. Keep it on track, there we go, we're going downhill. Brake here. This is used for the license tests. And it's one of the more difficult ones for me to get gold in. So, down to second, and turning it around. Going uphill again. Now approaching the uphill section, which also lulls you into a false sense of security. I think on actual VLN races, that's where they put one of the speed limiters in. Not that I think that putting speed limits on a track is something particularly wise, but there we are. Here we go. Let's see. The third. See, this is the time where the kids in the back would ask, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? No, 6 seconds. Okay, yeah. Could be pretty safe now. No, that wasn't... We can move to more prosaic matters. That was an 8:45 the last lap. Reckon I can make an 8:30? I don't think... Well, tell you what. We'll find out. Nope, this is the tricky one. People just forget to brake here and... Whoosh! You hit that wall. And then you hit that wall. And then you have to start from 6th place again. 5 seconds. See, it actually got closer on the uphill bit. So it may just have me for speed. Brake. Carousel. Let's see if I can do... Okay, okay. No, it's going up, it's going up. There we go. At least I managed to be to do the whole lap this time. Okay, let's see. Going up. Going up, going up, going up, going up. Brake there again. Should have just let the throttle off. And then this one that is actually used as a graduation test in this game. Which would mean it's one of the more difficult ones, and I tend to agree. Because letting the car slide around these ones, you apparently do enough turning at the entry, and then it just, see, the tail just comes around. There you go. Direction. The non-existent cameragraphers are there, waiting for me to crash. I didn't. Sorry to disappoint. I may kick a little bit of dirt here. Let's see. Just a little bit. And then once again on the downhill bit towards the main straight. Straight, jumping immediately on the brakes. That gravel can take seconds off the track. Okay, that's 6:35, 2 minutes to make it from here to the end of the track. I don't know. Let's see. Break, 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 break. Into third. Mini carousel. Nailed it. And then just a few corners more. The accord is nowhere to be found. And here we are. That is the gantry where you would stop your timer. And apparently I have a minute to make it from here to the start-finish line. I know what I'm rooting for. Oh, 9 seconds. Okay. Okay. Well, that was a fantastic first lap, and then rather doubt the second one, but you still find it a bit charming. Right. Just letting it run here, downhill, where I went off last time, but now I'm in the middle of the solid track. Break, break, break. Okay. That was enough, and then here. Here, the pit lane in this game, which is not used there, and back into the start finish line into Sabine. 39. Ah! Missed it by a second. Oh well. You win some, and then you lose some, I guess. That was fun. Now, at this time, been live for a little bit, and I think this went about as well as it could be expected. Y'all seem to have heard me all right. There was some scoff, but let's be real here, there was not going to be scoff. Actually, let's say we get back to the really expensive apartment. Pop the music in, there we are. There we are. So, we've been here for a bit, and did some puzzle games, and did some racing, and did some yapping. And it seems like it has all gone terribly well. Although I'm absolutely sure that when I see this VOD, I'm just going to want to tear my ears out, and my eyes, and presumably everything else that is on my face. But when I said that, I seem to have had fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Maybe I'll try it sometime later in the week. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think this is fine. Oh, tell you what. Let's do another one for the road. But this time isn't a race. This is just something else, which combines the two things that we did today and merges them into something magical. So, assuming this works. Let's see if it does. Which one is it? Okay, not that one. Come on. Come on. Why aren't you showing up? Oh, I get it. This thing is... well, chat. As it turns out, OBS actually has a difference between browser capture and game capture. So let's remove this, and add this, and there we go. Something that is a wonderful and an holy combination of everything that we saw today. Cardle. It's like Wordle, but for cards. Right. Now, I'm in a bit of an issue with this one. Just shuffle down here. I'm in a bit of an issue with this one because the first time that I wanted to do this stream, which was, I forget how long ago, the Cardle image, I was going to get it in one because the photograph that they used had the information of the card on a window sticker that was there. I guess that's what happens when you don't vet the images. Anyway, let's see what this is. And I think I feel like how most of chat would feel on this one because all I get here is a car. It's just a car. Okay. But we can do a little bit better than that. It's hilariously shiny, and if I went to use the same techniques that you would use in GeoGuessr, I would go ahead and say that this is just something American. It has what it looks to be like an eternal front end, and it's incredibly shiny, and you see the reflection of some power lines. So incredibly manicured American car. But what sort of American car? It doesn't look old. That power bulge is telling me late 80s, early 90s. Well, let's see. Tell you what if it's a Cadillac? Nope. Imagine me playing rhythm games. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. And let's say it's an... Okay, so already I have problems because they don't have the Eldorado in here. C, D. Okay, so... not the Eldorado, this is going to be Seville. And let's guess 1991. Let's split the difference. I believe they give you plus minus 2 years on this one. Guess. Yeah. See, that is a Bentley. And in fact, that is a Bentley. Armor that... So do you think this populates based on the cards that you put in there? Like the first time that they had Cardle, they just had a single option for making model. And they just had an armored Arnache that one time, and they decided, oh well, fuck it, let's just leave it here. I don't know. But okay, let's see. Bentley, and that is the it's not the Continental. The Continental has the big light on the outside and the little light on the inside. It's not the Brooklands. The Brooklands looks like something out of Will Smith rap video. Probably because it was more than a couple of Will Smith rap videos. And Mulsan. And then year, that has to be plus minus 2 years. And I don't know when these ones were built. I know it was the 2010s. So let's do 2015. Okay, so it is a Mulsan. 2015. So let's do the edges. 2017. No, that is not going to help me, Cardle. I already know what it is. 2013. Very good. 2012. 2012. Okay. Bentley Mulsanne 2012. Can you tell that this was designed to be played on a phone? Lovely thing. Absolutely lovely thing. Well, I think that with that, and having watched me suck at some of the games, we can call it for today. This was a lot more fun than I thought it would be, actually. So, with your permission and my other viewers' permission, I think I may want to try this again, probably sometime later this week. So, let's see. Yeah. From myself, my controller that looks fresh from a Ocean Gate submarine, my computer that has been on the verge of catching on fire through this entire stream. Thank you, and my other viewer. And, well, I'll see you next time.